Howdy, yokes. Before we get started today, I just want to let you know what this show is. Maybe you like early 90s cinema and you're like, a river runs through it. I've heard of that. I'll click on this podcast episode and see if this is a movie podcast I'd like. You may love this show. I'm so glad that you're here. If it's your first time here and you're like, how do I even listen to this? Basically, here's the structure of the show. Ethan, my co-host, and I, we watch a movie and then we sit down and we talk about it. We start with some stats and then we run through some in-depth review and then we kind of let the conversation flow from there. We've done this with over 150 movies over the past 4 years, and you can start wherever you want. There is no continuity. Although, if you start from the beginning, I won't have any kids, and if you start from today, I'll have 2 kids. But otherwise, there's no continuity at all. Anyway,
you'll miss my villain arc if you don't start at the beginning.
Well, yeah, I mean, you'll miss Ethan's entire character development and arc that we've been working towards this entire time.
Yeah, my name was Jefferson at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, it's been quite the journey. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with us. Let's get started. Howdy, yokes, and welcome back to Bacon and Eggs. I'm Tyler Carlin.
And I'm Ethan Edgehill.
And today we're going fishing.
Or maybe we're just moving back to Montana.
So go fishing.
And let's go fishing.
Because today we're bringing you
A River Runs Through It. Saying it, honestly.
It's
your line.
Thing.
Yeah, it's kind of your line.
So
that is 100% the reason we're doing this movie, by the way. People who are like, man, why are they covering this Brad Pitt movie I've never heard of?
That's not why. It's part of why. But also, I went to the critically acclaimed Oscar winners category on Netflix, and this is one of the first results. And it is Oscar season, and this is a winner for Best Cinematography, which I would argue is one of the categories you and I are most interested in.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
I didn't know that about this movie, honestly. And at the end of the very end of the movie, I was like, wow, that's a good shot right there.
Oh my God. Anytime they were at the river, yeah. I was like, good Lord.
Yeah. But that last shot, man, I was just like, wow, that is a shot right there. Yeah. I have never in my life wanted to go fly fishing more than watching this movie.
I've never wanted to as bad as I have watching this movie, but I've been around it my whole life.
Yeah.
And it was kind of weird to my dad is the only person I know that fly fishes and makes a personality out of it. Nobody my age does that.
No. It is a secret that will eventually be lost because of our generation's complete denial of fishing.
No, there are plenty of young people who fish, but I've never seen a young...
They're not fly fishermen.
Right. And when the great thing I think to this day about fly fishing is that it is still a craft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to make your lures, your flies, sorry. You go out there and there is the cast,
the metronome. Yeah.
But I think the closer and closer we get to that and the more young people get into it, it'll have to be optimized in some way. And I think that'll be the death of fly fishing.
Did we do stats?
No, I didn't even do that.
Okay.
October 9th, 1992. So exactly, looks like 51 days before my birth, which is 10,707 days ago. Had an $8 million budget, made $66 million at the box office, got an 80% critic rating, an 83% audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 68 on Metacritic. Ethan, do you have a negative professional review for me?
I sure do. As long as Google Chrome cooperates with me. As long as Google Chrome cooperates.
Yeah, you're probably white.
I've just lost my ability to be a podcast host, apparently.
You sure have.
Malcolm Johnson. Why can I not talk? What is happening?
I don't know, man.
Malcolm Johnson of the Hartford Courant says Redford's heartfelt yet unfulfilled film feels more watered down than haunting.
Love that. That's beautiful.
Do you have a positive review for me from
Adam Mars Jones of The Independent? Says Redford remains a fine director of actors. With Brad Pitt, who gives a particularly good performance, he is dealing moreover with an actor whose handsomeness is reminiscent of his own at that age.
I would agree with that.
I don't know what Robert Redford looked like at 20-something.
He looked like Brad Pitt.
No way.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's so weird to me. I've seen I've seen a fair number of Brad Pitt's movies from when he was younger. But once you see something where he was older, it's so hard to see him as a little kid
as a child.
Yeah. That's my 2 cents on that. What about Joe Gordon-Levitt going on in this thing?
A literal child.
An actual baby.
An actual 10-year-old.
Not even 10. Can't be. There's no way Joseph Gordon-Levitt was born in 1982, right?
I believe so, yeah.
He was Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Gosh, we're doing
He was Joseph Gordon-Levitt in 10 Things I Hate About You.
He was Snowden.
Yeah, that was much more recently than this. Here, there's a picture of Robert Redford's
81.
the one on the left.
Look at that.
It's Robert Redford and Paul Newman.
But hold on, I'm pulling it up. You sent this to everybody in the Zoom call, so
there's only the two of us. And you know what we're not doing? Recording the Zoom call. Whoops.
So basically, what you're showing me... Oh, you're right.
I guess this was just not going to be on video.
Well, that's no good.
Whoops.
Basically, what you're telling me is that Joseph Gordon-Levitt was born in 1981. Robert Redford is Brad Pitt. You sent me a link to an article for the USA Today, which I'm not subscribed to. Kind of surprised you are.
I'm not.
Well, you got the photo. I didn't.
I copied link address from Google Images. Here, I'll save the image. I'm sure this will work wonderfully. Zoom is historically good at letting me send photos and stuff.
I think it was the one thing when we used Skype that was really effective. I do want to ask you this, E. If somebody were to approach you any day of your life and say, hey, do you think you would live a very cathartic life if you moved to Missoula, Montana and went fly fishing at 6 a.m. every day?
Well, so I was like probably 10 when I first saw this movie. So this movie greatly fuels my desire, or maybe was the origin of my desire to pack everything up and move to rural Montana and just vibe.
And just vibe out?
And just vibe out in Montana. I do think I would lead a more cathartic life.
I mean, you can say that, but Brad Pitt chose... So this is kind of where it gets tricky. Brad Pitt chose the cathartic fly fishing life, and he has his catharsis, right? He catches the perfect fish.
Yeah.
But then he dies.
Yeah, but like I live in a place where there are bars and drugs and hicks, and I haven't died.
You also live in a place with multiple rivers where you could fly fish.
I could. Very, very easily. Very easily. Maybe not as easily as in Montana, but pretty easily.
I don't know, man. I think I would look at their walking from the car to the river situation where there's not like a clearly defined path. You just have to like traipse through tall grass. And I'd say, yeah, there's no way to get over there. That's crazy.
Well, so everything that takes place in Montana involves at least one scene of somebody standing in a river fly fishing while someone tries to talk to him.
This included.
So like that's a thing I know about Montana is there's, I guess, good rainbow trout fishing. Well, this is a great audio podcast. Sorry it's not on video this week, guys. But we're going to continue to just describe how we look every now and then.
Ethan's wearing what looks to be an out-of-focus classic Mighty Ducks logo t-shirt.
It is not.
Although it might be a beer dancing holding a martini glass.
It's a Molotov cocktail.
Ah, and he's happy.
Yes.
Vive.
Tyler's wearing apparently a green corduroy shirt that looks black.
I am. And
when you got on the call, it was like, Tyler's wearing a black button-up. That is very much not like him.
No, yeah, I wouldn't do that. That's insane. I didn't.
Yeah.
I've been to a few funerals and I don't even do that. That's because how could you possibly buy a black shirt that matches your black suit?
You can't. It's not possible.
Right. Like they would have to sell it as a set. And that if you buy clothes from the coordinating shirt and tie table at JCPenney, I'm sure that's very convenient, and I'm glad you found a system that works for you. But that is the worst way to buy shirts.
Yeah, just know that I hate you.
I could never bring myself to do that. I could go in there and they'll be like, we'll give you $10 to take this shirt and tie. And I'll be like, I do not want it. Now you're really blown out, Ethan.
Yeah, it looks great.
You look very bad.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks good. Go back.
That?
Yeah.
No.
Is that kept in 4:3 to preserve
Zack Snyder's creative vision? Yeah. No, I don't know why. It just looks awful.
A river runs through it. I had never seen this movie. I had no idea what it was about. It definitely read like, or it watched like required reading in like 9th grade.
See, I think this is like a comfort genre for me. Like this is one of my favorite flavors of movie.
What, like
90s soft drama.
This to me this felt, and I think it's because the lead looks like him. But this to me felt like Shawshank but like,
I was today years old when I realized that it is not Tim Robbins that is the lead in this movie.
yeah.
It is just some guy that's done nothing else who looks like Tim Robbins.
Yeah, it's like Shawshank meets The Great Gatsby
Yeah.
in Montana.
The Robert Redford Great Gatsby, not worth watching, though.
Well, there's a good Great Gatsby.
There is a good Great Gatsby. But yeah, I love this whole flavor of film. This like late 80s, all 90s, soft drama, like especially the period pieces, man, because like this and like Dead Poets.
Oh, Dead Poets is so good.
It's something. There's something about the way they film it and like the actual, just like the filming, the color grading, the particular like timbre of the microphones they use, and a lot of them are narrated. And I like the narrator microphones they use, just like the sound. I don't know. I love the scores. These like kind of pithy piano scores they put in there. Like Jumanji has underrated, just like chill out music.
So are you under the impression I didn't enjoy this?
No. I'm just saying that like this is something I think I realized about myself today, is that like this is one of my, because it's not really a genre. Like I'm not considering it a genre here. It's just this like this time period always brings me joy when I get to experience a movie from this era, from this whole collection.
So my only challenge was throughout the whole thing, I don't know if it's like some personal trauma or just like the world we live in today, but I was like, there's no way that the father in this family is good for anything other than fly fishing.
Yeah. When they're like he's a Presbyterian preacher.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that dude beats his kids.
A lifelong minister of the church.
That dude beats his kids. That's what that dude does.
Yeah, definitely. And he was never the problem ever.
Right.
He was like, hey, child of mine, go off to Dartmouth. Don't come home for 6 years. Live your life, man. And again, it was like a different time or whatever, but that's just wild to me. I'll tell you what I noticed. There's a lot of people coughing in this movie where no one dies of tuberculosis.
Oh, man, I did not catch that.
I just, like, I don't know, because the dad coughed a couple times, like, ominously, and I was like, oh, God, am I misremembering this movie? Is the dad going to die of tuberculosis?
I didn't know what the freaking plot of this movie was until, like, is it not supposed to have a plot? And then
it's all about Paul, man.
Yeah, and then Paul dies.
Yeah.
I guess I just don't know, like, what was his deal with the gangsters, with the Missoula City gangsters?
He just got up to his ears in gambling debt.
We've all been there.
I mean, there was a lot of stories in this particular era of films where, like, the guy has everything, right? His life's perfect. He catches the perfect fish. But like,
so this is what I love about Catching the Perfect Fish, and this is, I think, pretty on the nose. But it's like, it's very clear that Paul is getting more and more frustrated that Norman is finally having his winning day.
Yeah.
And then he wins with the thing most important to any of them, catching the perfect fish.
Well, and like, he probably died catching that fish, right? Like,
you think so?
Yeah, kind of. Because the dad's like, you're not telling me something,
But the dad was
like,
there for the fish catching.
Yeah, but like at the beginning, the narrator is like, Dad told me one day that I should write down what happened. And like, yeah, I think Paul died catching that fish. I think Paul drowned catching that fish.
That was a tense scene.
Because you never see the picture.
Yeah, that's what I thought was fishy as well.
Yeah, so like Paul not definitely, but like that's my sort of interpretation, is that like we're being, he's quothing us, right? Quothing us. He's telling us a story inside a story.
This is a true memoir. Well, it is a memoir.
Yeah.
Written by...
Everything is true except for what Jonathan made up.
Yes. I think... So let's imagine Jonathan Larson makes A River Runs Through Rent,
Okay.
Paul
dies of AIDS.
That's not funny. I shouldn't laugh at that. But yeah, that would be how that would play out. Paul has something to hide behind his immense success.
But no, I think I think you nailed it on the head when you said this watches like required reading from high school English.
Yeah, like, and I don't say that in a bad way, but I do.
No,
this is my first
think
viewing.
You mean it in a bad way.
And like, I remember exactly how it felt to read Gatsby for the first time. And this felt very similar to that. Like,
yeah,
this is a time period I know nothing about. This is characters,
especially in that area of the world.
Yeah, like, I don't know anything about Missoula today other than that Hank is there.
Yeah, let alone what it was like shortly after World War I.
Right, which is also like, World War I is such a hard thing to teach in schools, I think, in my experience, because like, it was a war that happened for no reason.
Right.
Like, somebody's gonna send in a message and be like, "Oh, it was the Archduke Franz Ferdinand." I know the reasons it happened for no. It's not like World War II.
I mean, it was sort of an inevitable thing,
It was,
though.
yeah, I mean, it was the culmination.
It's the folly of man.
Yeah. But like World War II had like reasons.
God, I hope this isn't somebody's first episode of Bacon and Eggs.
If it is, I
We
think
sound
we're
like
doing great.
jackasses right now.
I think we're doing great.
I think we're doing great at being a movie podcast, but like, where are we getting this highfalutin sort of like brainstormy attitude from? What is happening here?
I don't know, man.
What would you give this on a scale of 0 to 100? We forgot to do that.
I think I did like it. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. I will, I think, revisit it because I like the shots of fly fishing. I'd like to sit
Yeah.
down with my father and watch this, or perhaps read the memoir. I like to say, 79.
Yeah, I was gonna come right in at an 80.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a particularly special movie. You know, it is.
I expected it to be special. You know, I think there was a lot of lines in there that Norman wrote in that
Yeah.
I think were supposed to hit me really hard and just didn't.
Yeah.
Because you know what else this reminds me of is Catcher in the
separate
Rye.
piece.
Well, Catcher in the Rye, but more specifically Franny and Zoe.
Yeah.
And that, like, I could highlight every sentence and be satisfied
Yeah,
with
nobody
like,
talks like that.
Yeah.
Man. Salinger really had a thing going.
he did.
Nobody talks like that. I gotta read some of those other, like, some of his, what is the word I'm looking for? His
Novellas, short stories.
No. The other people, his
Oh, the other people in, like, the Franny and Zoe
colleagues.
characters.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
his
Like
contemporaries.
his contemporaries. Thank you. That is the word I'm looking for. Contemporaries. Yes. Some other Fitzgeralds, some Hemingway, some like, you know, you're good sentence guys from those days.
Yeah.
Because like if you read The Great Gatsby, there is not nary a sentence out of place.
That's such a satisfying way to read a book. It's also laborious.
Yeah, it is in the same way that like
What was it,
you know,
Dickens
that you
that was
read-
paid by the word or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's easy reading.
That's easy reading. Yeah, Dickens is simple, right? It's flowery. It's fluffy. Dickens is entirely puff pieces, right? But like, yeah, you know, you read like some fantasy, right? Some like not your Tolkien, not your Rothfuss, but like your average fantasy. There's a lot of sentences in there that could just go.
There's an entire chapter or 3 about Tom Bombadil.
Yeah, that could just go.
That could just be
But
yeeted.
like The Great Gatsby, every word in there is important.
Yes.
They're
And that's-
selected, right? It's and I've been told this a million times. It is so much harder to write a short book than it is to write a long book.
I believe that, but I will believe that more when I can write 100,000 words on the same topic.
Oh, I agree. But 100,000 words isn't a particularly short book either.
That's what I'm. Well, exactly. So that to me is like, if I know that I could write 100,000 words on a topic, then maybe I could write
Yeah.
100,000 words on a so-so topic.
Well, and so like I've read the short story that they're adapting the play to in Birdman. We talk about Love by Raymond Carver.
Yeah.
And he notoriously was just like would put the words down and let somebody else turn it into something.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like he would write a bunch of stuff, and then his editor would sit there with a scalpel basically and turn it into masterpieces.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he would basically get drunk and write stuff, and then like not edit sober, not even edit his own stuff.
Well, I mean, that's not your job, man. That's what you hire an editor for.
I mean, true, but like you're supposed to at least know what's in your book.
Yeah.
You know.
Speaking of books, today's episode of Bacon and Eggs is brought to you by the new novel by Beth Reekles, Love Lockdown if you're in the UK, Lockdown on London Lane in the United States. It's a fantastic new young adult novel, sort of Love Actually
It
meets
is not young adult.
new adult.
New adult.
Fantastic
A term
new,
I hate.
new adult novel. It's like Love Actually meets the pandemic, all in an apartment building. It's delightful. The reviews have been fantastic, and it's available now on Amazon or wherever you get your books.
Yeah, go to Wattpad Books, either in the States or in anywhere else, and they can get you a copy directly from the publisher.
No discount code, but
But it is a lovely book that I've read with mine own eyes.
and Beth is a dear friend. So
A dear friend.
well, she's not a deer like the antlers.
I mean, she's Welsh.
A deer?
She's certainly more deer than we are.
You think Welsh people are more deer than Americans?
Maybe not us specifically, who live in a town mostly populated by deer, but
There's deer on the school board in this town.
yeah. We listeners, gentle listeners, we have in Roanoke County and Roanoke City mostly the county, what you refer to as a deer epidemic.
We have a lot of deer.
We have a lot of deer. We're outnumbered like 8 to 1.
And they're everywhere, dude.
And they're
all
everywhere.
the time.
Everybody knows at least 5 people who have totaled a car hitting a deer.
Yeah, and think about this, Ethan. If we moved to Missoula, Montana, it would be like that, but with rainbow trout that you could fly fish for.
Realistically, it would be like that with like moose.
No, I don't think so.
And probably also deer. And coyotes and wolves and bears.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Lions and tigers.
Yeah, so I did like this movie a lot. It is when I think of best cinematography, like this is not the kind of movie I think of. Like I just assume they didn't award that in the 90s until Titanic happened.
Yeah, so when I think of best cinematography, I think of doing something interesting with the camera, which this movie did, but not in the way that like Chloe Zhao does. You know what I mean?
Not in the way that that Wes Anderson does or Christopher Nolan or
right. What this did interesting was like, let's go to Missoula, Montana, and film a canyon.
Yeah,
and
we're gonna stick a camera in the damn river.
Right, which is like, I mean, that does produce some of the most beautiful things you could possibly see.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what. I've talked about this on the show, but I've been watching a lot of Yellowstone, which also takes place in Montana.
No way.
Yeah. It's a great show, but it is made by Peacock or like Paramount or whatever, like NBC like owns it and makes it, so it is still like, and it airs on television, so it has like the issues that like television programs have, where like it's got stupid establishing shots that come after commercials, but there's no commercials in the way I'm watching it, so it's just like this is the outside of the University of Montana or just like some random office building.
I think you should go into every episode of Yellowstone, jack them, rip them onto your computer, open them up, and then anytime they give you one of those establishing shots, drop in the little bass line from Seinfeld.
Like, that is my least favorite part of television, is those establishing shots.
That's your list, not commercials?
Well, I don't watch TV with commercials.
Well, yeah, that would be insane.
Yeah, it's 2022. I usually don't even watch shows that aren't finished.
I came downstairs this morning. My in-laws are staying with us right now.
Yeah.
And the television was on, like, to the Today Show. And I was like, who did this? Who does this?
Hoda got divorced or whatever.
Did she? Oh, no, poor Hoda.
Or maybe unengaged.
Her. Unengaged. We had this discussion not too long ago. Who is on the Today Show with Hoda?
See, I thought it was Jenny somebody, and you said it was Samantha Mitchell or whatever. Savannah McGuthrie.
I think it's Savannah Guthrie.
Savannah Guthrie. I don't know.
Or Jenna Bush Hager is the...
Yeah.
So maybe that's what I said.
No, you said Savannah Guthrie.
What does Savannah do?
I don't know. I've seen one episode of the Today Show in the last, 5 years. And they mostly spent it talking to Bobby Flay.
You watched Bobby Flay on Today?
I was with Kate's parents.
And they were like, hey, Bobby Flay is on Today.
No, they were just watching Today.
My mom used to watch the Today Show every morning. I guess maybe because you and I, when we were in college, didn't watch TV until like we had the townhouse, and then we watched.
No, we watched TV when we were in the dorms because we would watch an aggressive amount of college football.
We would watch a lot
and
of college
then an aggressive amount of pro football.
Dude, our poor roommate Sean. Think about the weekend.
Think about how much pep band he listened to. Because
think
by
about
the end of the Pac-12 game on Saturday night at 1 o'clock in the morning, I was tired of pep bands.
Think about being Sean and being like, I don't really care about football at all. In fact, I don't know that I could be in the same room to watch it. It just bores me. I'd rather just go to my room and do whatever. But also think about Sean being like, I'm a studious student. During the week, I pay attention to my studies and do the reading. Which, by the way, it's been a while since I've said this. We're most of the way through your second semester, freshman in college. The teacher's not going to tell you about the reading on the syllabus. You still have to do it. You do. The professor, dottore.
Yeah, do the reading.
Do the reading. I don't need to buy the books. They don't mention them. I promise you, they assign the books for a reason. You're supposed to be reading them between lectures. Anyway, you're Sean, and you're like, man, I got this PS3 and all these amazing games. I can't wait until the weekend comes so I can go out into the living room and enjoy my Sean's nice big TV and play on my Sean's PS3.
Which he did plenty of.
And then for the first 8 weeks of the school year, we just watched football all day on Saturday.
We would usually only do that on weekends when Sean wasn't there.
You think?
Yeah.
Do you remember Corinne Pop?
Sure, absolutely.
How
could I ever forget Corinne?
I follow her on Twitter. And
so do I.
A few weeks ago, I replied to one of her tweets, and she was like, I can't believe you remember who I am. And
I always forget who she is because her name on Twitter is like Doot Mother.
She does like a D&D, I think it's a Twitch stream. I don't think they do a podcast version, but she's like in our sphere.
Yeah, I could told you that was going to happen.
Yeah. Well, Sean was big into D&D, and we brushed it off.
That's true. But we did play a lot of Borderlands with him.
I would hang out with Sean today.
Too much Borderlands.
Never enough.
Oh, man. I was thinking about Skyrim the other day.
I brought up Skyrim at work the other day.
I brought up Skyrim at work the other day.
I bet my brothers have never played Skyrim.
They haven't.
Yeah.
Ben had never heard of it.
Get out of town.
Yeah, because we were talking about we were talking about how everything in Skyrim is stolen from Name of the Wind,
And he'd never played Skyrim.
he had never played Skyrim. And Riley was like, "Oh man, you're right." And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, Ben was like, "Should I play this Skyrim game?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he goes, "Can I make my character look however I want?" And I was like, "You would not believe the degrees to which you can make your character look however you want.
Yeah. You want to be a reptile?
You can do that. You can just do that. You could be a cat.
You be IKEA born?
You could be IKEA, but you could be a Sonic."
It's raining trains.
God, I think about that video all the time.
I do too. In fact, I'm going to send it to the guy I was talking to about Skyrim. Although I was talking to him at work, and I was like, "Yeah, man, Skyrim, Donkey. He's a big YouTuber. He's a big Valorant player. Have you ever heard of Valorant?
I have not.
It's like Overwatch.
I didn't know Donkey was still doing stuff.
No, not Donkey. The dude I work with.
Although I did hear a donkey sound on TikTok the other day.
No way.
Yeah, from like I mean, I know it's his voice, but I had never heard or seen that video.
What are we talking about? River runs through it.
A river runs through it.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays
As a literal child.
Brad Pitt.
In the movie for about 8 minutes.
He actually doesn't play Brad Pitt. He plays...
No, he plays knockoff Tim Robbins.
Yeah, he plays Tim Robbins. Not to be confused with Chadwick Boseman, who played Jackie Robinson.
Who would get those two things confused?
I don't know. I don't think there was any black people in this movie.
No, I don't think there were. But it wouldn't particularly surprise me to know that there weren't any black people in Missoula, Montana at that point in time either.
It also, but I feel
Not
like
that
on
that's
the
a
flip
particularly
side,
good excuse for not having black people in the movie, but...
Yeah. Also, I feel like if we, I mean, like, I don't know anything about, I have literally no concept of mountain time. Actually, today, I don't know what happens over there. Right. So, like,
I'll tell you what, they were brutally racist toward the Native American girl, and then they just never brought it up again.
they
ever.
did never bring it up again, ever.
Yeah.
In fact, at the end, when he was like, "Yeah, we're going to JoJo Siwa's," I thought they were going to the Native American girl, but
Nope.
no, they were going to the gambling
going-
house.
The gambling house, where Paul can play his cards.
I know Paul said he's covering for you, but
It'll be a buck.
it'll be $1. You think he tipped $1 a drink? I don't think you did. If a drink,
I
was
don't think
$1.
he did. I'll tell you what, we and by we I mean people that make movies and not me, but we as a generation have lost the art of the narrated movie. Anymore, when I see a movie that is narrated, I'm like, ugh,
Ugh.
stop that.
Show me, don't tell me.
Show don't tell. But I think we've lost a lot of the art of movies up until very recently. Honestly, I've gotten very tired of the whole, and I know we're getting away from it now a little bit, but I got very tired of the whole everything is orange and blue.
Oh yeah,
I got so sick of it, man.
the whole world did.
Yeah, and it's just like
You
now.
can't go-
Now that I think COVID was one of the best things to happen to movies because it allowed the stream. No, I truly do. I truly do. Like you got to find silver linings, right? And I think that allowing the streaming services to become big players in the making their own movies game has been incredible.
You know, you don't get that without the kissing booth in 2018.
You don't. You simply don't. Netflix has come a long way since then.
They have.
They
They've
got
made some
Leonardo
players.
DiCaprio to star in a movie. They paid him more than he's worth to star in a movie.
It's like a bad movie.
Well,
that was all right.
yeah, it's pretty good. I really liked it.
People talk about it a lot.
People talk about it a lot. The Stream Buster, man. The movie that is all press is good press, right? Beth Reekles, author of The Kissing Booth, he fucking hated it.
Yeah.
Hated it. And a lot of people dissing that movie for the, I don't like the way it makes me feel.
I mean, I feel that way, but I think probably not for the same reason other people who don't like it dislike it for the way
I
it
don't
makes
think
them
that's a
feel.
valid reason to not like a movie.
I think that's like the only valid reason to not like a movie.
Nah, if the movie presents you with ideas that you're uncomfortable with surrounding societal change, then that's not a valid reason to not like the movie.
I don't know. I feel like if I read Mein Kampf and I was like, yeah, I don't like the ideas presented here. I don't
Those
like
are
the way
not
they
the
make
same
me
thing
feel.
at all.
Yes.
If you watch a movie that's saying we're not listening to science enough, and your takeaway from it is like, man, that movie made me feel negatively about the world. Like, that's fine, but like you can't just you can't give it a 2 out of 10 for that.
Well, that's not why I would give it a low score.
No, I'm not saying it is.
Oh, okay.
That's what people are doing. That's the issue I'm bringing up, is people rating it negatively because it made them sad. That is what I don't want to get into with movies, is the idea of everything needs to be peppy and positive to be good.
We should watch Little Miss Sunshine. That'll make you sad.
Yeah, it will.
Should watch Schindler's List.
That will also make you sad.
I think that was also 1992.
Was it?
I think so.
I refuse to believe that this movie won for best cinematography then.
Let's see.
93.
I was so freaking close.
You were so freaking close. I thought it was 94. What won the Oscars in 1993? Well, 94, I guess, technically. But this one, Schindler's List won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Original Score, Best Film Editing, Best Cinematography, and Best Art Direction. So, got the old sweeperooski, as it were.
Fun little factoid for you. In 1992, which I guess would have been the year before, this one of ones for best cinematography was when Anthony Hopkins won for Silence of the Lambs.
Was it really? Mm-hmm. No, that was 91.
Well, it was the 92 Oscars.
Oscars, yeah, but it was a 91 movie.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because that was definitely Best Picture, and I'm looking at Unforgiven by Clint Eastwood here as Best Picture.
This was back when Billy Crystal used to host the Oscars.
Yeah. Now there's not a host.
They did get a little controversial there for a minute.
I prefer the not a host thing, honestly.
If they started with the musical number like they do for the other award shows, I think I could do a host.
I mean, sure, it's a little snappier without the host. Mm-hmm. You know, gets a little bit. Oh, this did win best. No, this won best cinematography. What am I talking about? I've clicked on a different thing.
Yeah, this was actually the same year that Marissa Tomei and Emma Thompson won Oscars.
Marissa Tomei for My Cousin Vinny. Mm-hmm. Great movie.
It's an Oscar winner.
I think about that movie every time I think about grits.
You know, I ate grits with you not too long ago.
Did you?
I did. I ordered grits.
Where did you get grits?
At the Roanoke.
Roanoke. You did get grits.
I did.
You got grits and gravy.
I did, yeah. Why would I not?
I don't know.
Grits and gravy.
It's just a lot of white, non-Newtonian fluids.
Yep. I don't think I had anything healthy on that breakfast.
You get some oatmeal in there. You're really just nailing it.
I had biscuits. Those are white. Especially
oatmeal is one of the least appetizing foods by visual presentation, I think, ever.
Really? You don't like the look of oatmeal?
I don't like the look of oatmeal, no.
You mean when you get like some maple brown sugar, you put it in, put just the right amount of water in there?
Yeah, no, I don't like the look of oatmeal. No, not at all.
That's a good looking food.
No, it's not. It looks like barf.
Okay. Barf is just food you clearly already ate.
Yeah.
It must be delicious.
Yeah, but I don't want to look at it. Also, not historically would I say that, oh man, this food was so delicious, I'm just going to barf.
No, I wouldn't recommend anybody say that.
This tasted so good, I just want to Ralph right now.
I just want to look at it again.
I would like to taste that for a second time in reverse.
In reverse. It was really good with the soy sauce up front. Let's see how it is in the back.
With some bile on the back end.
What I'm doing right now, Ethan, is trying to roll a 20.
On a D20?
On a D20. And this D20 might be cursed.
Might be cursed. Is it a D12?
No, it's a D20. Okay. That was a 16. So that was a 19. That was a 10. Can I tell you about something I did in our D&D game the other day?
Sure.
We're about to get real technical, nerdy D&D, dear listener, who's like, I just love movies from the 90s. I play 3.5 edition. One, grow up, okay?
Grow up.
We're almost
get a real edition.
We're almost on 5.5. Grow up. It's time.
I don't feel like they're gonna make a 5.5.
They've already announced it.
Have they?
Yeah, it's later this year.
Oh.
I'm staying in the know. You know how it is. Your boy, he gets his answers. So tell me if you think this is okay. So they're fighting a dragon, okay? And
hold on, make it clear. It's a goose dragon.
It is a goose dragon. It is a goose Eric Cochran, who in our world, instead of dragonborn, there are Eric Cochran who turn into dragons, which I think is
like
the
a
coolest.
were goose.
Yeah, I think might be my best piece of world building potentially ever.
Anyway, continue.
So the goose dragon, does a breath attack, a honk attack. Honk. He knocks out the party's pet, which is a puppy named Ember. Okay. Now Ember is spawn of, he's a dog. He's a hellhound. Okay. But all dogs go to heaven, right? So basically what happened is when the dog dies, the two parties involved basically are Ranger and the monster that they're fighting go to court in the netherworld. And
Wait, the dog died?
Yes. So they go to court in the netherworld, right? And the dragon and our Ranger had to plead their case to the goddess of death and loss as to who was responsible.
Okay.
And if you won the court case, then the dog would return to you.
Okay.
But when the dog returns, it does 1d100 damage to the loser of the court case. And every member of the party rolls a d100, and we take the highest.
Oof. Okay.
And so our party, with their insane rolls, rolled a 95.
Okay.
And slaughtered the dragon, and the puppy returned.
Okay.
Is it okay that I did the d100 thing?
Sure. It's your monster.
I know, right?
You can do whatever you want to it.
I know. Well, also, the party was all like dying. They had like 2 health left each.
Yeah.
Because they had just finished like a bar fight, and then it went into a dragon fight. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, I got to save their butts.
So you took the dragon to court.
So I took the dragon to court.
I mean, it is creative problem solving at its finest. I'll tell you that much.
I was pretty proud of it.
That sounds
Would have
good.
been nice if you were there, but you were busy.
Yeah, sorry, dude. I had plans for months.
I fell in love with my camera at a rock show. It said click, and I told it that I didn't know. It's
My
so
camera
cool,
fell
gonna
on the
sneak it through
floor at a rock
window.
show. I think it's broken, which kind of sucks.
Is it insured? Can't you just call up your agent?
It is no longer insured because I was not touring.
Oh no!
Yeah.
You were like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Well,
It'll
I
be
wasn't
fine.
expecting it to get fully kicked out of my hand, disconnected from my wrist strap, and fall on the ground.
This wrist strap. What were you using? Like a point and shoot Rolodex?
No, I just had a wrist strap.
What about a neck strap?
Well, see, usually I would prefer the wrist strap because I can raise my arm up easier and it doesn't pull on my neck. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And also, that stops me from getting choked if something like that did happen. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, got fully broke my wrist strap and went flying on the ground. And I mean, it was fine until I got done with the show and then tried to do something else with it, and it was like, I don't know about this one, guy.
I gave it my best shot.
I haven't troubleshot it yet. It could be the lens. It could be the lens adapter. It could be the camera body itself. It is unlikely that it is all three, and I'm hoping it's just the adapter on the middle because that's a $200 fix.
That's much cheaper than the other fixes.
That's a much cheaper.
Much cheaper fix.
Yeah. Anyway.
You know what you could do if you wanted to know that you had enough money?
What?
Hop onto mybookie.ag.
Good God. No.
Bet on the Super Bowl.
Let me tell you what I'm not going to do.
Sports gambling?
Betting on the Super Bowl.
I couldn't begin to tell you what I think is going to happen in that game.
Oh, I don't. I want the Bengals to win. I don't think the Bengals are going to win.
Right.
I think their offensive line is going to get dominated, and that Jamar Chase is not going to be able to catch a ball because he's going to be octuple covered.
Well, this is what happens when you go to
And
the
I also
Super
think that
Bowl.
Evan McPherson has built up too much karma at this point, and he's going to fail at the wrong moment.
Oh, it's going to be awful.
Yeah.
Odds are against him right now. If you make 22 in a row,
Yeah, the odds are against him.
which is what he's done. He's done 22 in a row, so longest active streak.
Yeah, but he can kick the top of a Gatorade bottle from I don't know, 30 or whatever.
That's pretty cool.
That was pretty cool.
I don't think
But this
from
guy,
30
this is the guy that trades jerseys with the Chiefs punter after they play in the regular season. And the jersey's like, yo, man, you just won the AFC North with this jersey. You can't give this away. And he goes, nah, I'll just keep my Super Bowl jersey.
That's something.
That's a guy that's going to miss a game-sealing field goal in the Super Bowl.
They've got such swagger, such panache. But I think, so that's kind of part of it as well, is on the flip side. A lot of these, there was a clip of Peyton and Eli talking on their show about, I think they were doing the wild card round. And they were talking about, if I'm on the sidelines right now, I think it was Dak Prescott. If I'm Dak Prescott, I'm hyping my team up. I'm shouting. I'm not sitting down until this game is over. And then the camera panned to Dak Prescott. I don't think it was Dak Prescott, but for the sake of example, we'll say that. And he's just sitting there on the bench quietly. Yeah. And it's like, you need some of that swagger. You need some of that.
You definitely do. And, maybe the Bengals will be the first team to win the Super Bowl just on pure wang
Swag.
size alone. Yeah.
On pure Joe Shiesty
It's just
power.
it's a bunch of 15-year-olds out there.
Yes. Bunch of literal
I
children.
think the collective age between Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Evan McPherson is 61.
Yeah. They've been saying with Tom and Ben's retirement that this is the end of the of their era.
Oh, did Roethlisberger retire?
I believe so.
Hell yeah. Good riddance. Oh, my God.
Yeah, well, I mean,
God,
he
what
was
an uninteresting man to watch play football.
Truthfully, if you're Ben Roethlisberger, think about this. It's the AFC North, man, and you're like, right?
I got
AFC
Baker
North?
Mayfield, Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson.
I don't want to deal with this
I don't want
anymore.
to deal with this anymore.
This
Juju
was so
Smith-Schuster's
easy
calling me every day like, hey, man, throw me the fucking football more.
Yeah.
I dealt with Le'Veon Bell.
Also, I should be in prison. So
Yeah, also, I'm a rapist.
Maybe I slip away forever.
Although I heard today that Brady's not actually retiring.
No, he is. He posted on Instagram.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't Brett Favre it.
Come back and play for the Jets.
Just to, like, retire and then come back and play for anybody.
Yeah, I think so. He's probably going to go into like business and really focus on the TB12 thing. But he'd be such a good coach, man. They always show those videos of him in like in the film room with Belichick and stuff, and it's like, give back, bro. Take Jim
I want Brady in the
Harbaugh's
box,
job.
man.
He'd be too good for the Bucs.
I want Brady in the box. I want Brady and Peyton to call a game together.
They did a Monday night game, I think.
Tom Brady and Peyton Manning.
He was on Peyton and Eli.
Oh. I'm talking about a real, like, I want them in the box together.
Peyton. What a dude.
The sheriff.
He's
what
going to
a guy.
have to. I mean, they're going to have to. You can't have a situation where Andy Luck's not calling games. Tom Brady's not calling games. Peyton.
Andy Luck has no business calling games.
Eli's not calling games. Andy Luck doesn't want to call games. Andy Luck wants to go home and play with his kids. And
I'll tell you what Matt
Luck.
Stafford did this weekend is prove once and for all that the 1 and 2 quarterback combo of Carson Wentz and Jared Goff was maybe the worst pair of like trade ups ever.
Yes.
Those dudes are hot garbage.
And Matt Stafford's the real deal.
Never have we seen such foolishness since the Andrew Luck, Marcus Mariota thing. Both of those guys are also hot garbage.
Jameis is still in the league. He was part of that class, right?
I don't think so.
Well, I thought it was Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston, 1 and 2 or something.
Maybe that was it. Yeah, maybe you're right.
Yeah, they went to Tennessee and Tampa Bay.
Yeah, you're right. Who am I thinking of? Who was Andrew Luck up with?
I don't know. Suck for luck. I know that.
Yeah, hang on.
RG3. They were in the same class.
That's it. Yep, that was it.
RG3 was the real deal. Could have been the real deal. One of the few players that was a joy to watch.
That's who I was thinking of. Andrew Luck, number 1. Robert Griffin III, number 2.
RG3.
Yeah.
He's calling
Awful.
games. He's calling college games.
The year, and the fact that Joe Burrow is going to the Super Bowl the same year that Urban Meyer got fired from being the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Gotten mid-season fired.
Joe.
Fantastic. Can't wait. Can't wait for the Super Bowl. I do hate Matt Stafford still. So, like, it is going to be heartbreaking if the Bengals lose that one because I do not want to see Matt Stafford win a Super Bowl.
Then he would have as many as Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yeah.
Because Aaron Rodgers only has the one.
Yep.
I just want to let that sink for a little bit.
Okay. When was the last time the the Washington football team won a playoff game, made the playoffs, did anything good? Never.
They made the playoffs
not since Joe
last year.
Theismann.
They made the playoffs last year. Thank you very much.
Okay,
and they won the Super Bowl in 1992.
Cool. Neat. Great record you got there. Great record.
It was 8 months before A River Runs Through It comes out.
Listen, this is the year. This year, not Aaron Rodgers' fault. Most years, it's Aaron Rodgers' fault. This year, I get him wanting to leave. Let him go. You know, if I was him, I would be calling Bruce Arians and saying, "Hey, Bruce, what do I got to do to take that job?"
That would be the ultimate test, though, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing is like that's how he redeems himself, right? Is to go where he's finally got all the weapons, right? He got Mike Evans, he got Chris Godwin, got Rob Gronkowski, got
everything Brady had.
Got everything Brady had. Can you fill in the shoes? The answer is no. He's not clutch.
He's not good enough.
He's not clutch. He's not good in the playoffs. He hasn't been good in the playoffs for a long time. But this year was not his fault. I don't think I've ever been so disappointed as a Green Bay Packers fan than to lose a motherfucking playoff game because of a blocked punt.
You know what we call that where I'm from?
I would greatly like to have that punter assassinated.
Do you know what we call that where I'm from?
Beamer ball.
Beamer ball, baby. Beamer ball's back. USC.
Listen, it was a great play on behalf of the San Francisco 49ers, but this is professional fucking football here, okay? This is professional football. I don't even know that punter's name, but if he ever plays another game in a Green Bay jersey, I'm going to riot. Fire him. fire the special teams coordinator, fire Mason Crosby, get a new backup quarterback, get a new long snapper, give rid of everybody. They all need to go. Special teams was atrocious this season. Mason Crosby got a kick blocked, and whatever the punter's name is got a punt blocked and lost that game. If you're Aaron Rodgers, you call up Matt LaFleur Monday morning and say, Matt, I gotta go. And Matt goes, yeah, I understand. I'm sorry. We did our
He
best.
definitely doesn't say that. You know what's
He
crazy
should. He should.
This is a lot of people talk about this offseason. A river runs through it. Thank you very much. A lot of people talk about this offseason and how there's no good quarterbacks in the draft. And I think on one hand, you're right. There are not all-star rookie quarterbacks, Heisman winner types that are going to change the game. But a team that's deep in the draft order, like Green Bay, can pick up some nobody from nowhere that turns out to be the next Aaron Rodgers.
Well, yeah, and the problem is they're betting everything on Jordan Love right now. I just don't think he's the option.
Who the heck is Jordan Love?
He's our backup.
Oh, no, he's not the guy.
He was supposed to be the new guy, right? He was the fill-in. He's the reason Aaron Rodgers is mad. He's a dude from Utah State. No, I'm thinking of. But yeah, they like traded up to get him in the first round, and Rodgers was mad, even though that's what Green Bay did for him. So that's where all this animosity started. But he's not the guy. I don't think he's the guy. I don't know if the guy's in this draft. I can tell you.
I want to put it on paper right now.
He clearly wasn't in the last draft either, though, and that was the one everybody's talking about, right? Because like Trevor Lawrence sucks. Justin Fields sucks.
Mac Jones don't suck.
Mac Jones does not suck, but Mac Jones got very lucky.
Mac Jones is on the right team, man.
He's on the right team for Mac Jones. So rarely does a rookie actually get that opportunity. And like that's what you're seeing with Joe Burr, is that he is on a team that fully believes in him, right? And a new quarterback hardly ever gets that. Not since the days of Russell Wilson has like a team fully just gotten into the idea, the whole principle, and just really given him the weapons he needed.
I'm going to call it right now. Sophomore quarterback for the Arkansas Razorbacks, KJ Jefferson.
That's a good name.
Is going to be a guy in the league.
I'll tell you what. There's some good looking quarterbacks out there in the NFL right now. Some good young guys, man. With Brady and Roethlisberger retiring, Breeze is already gone. You know, Phillip Rivers is gone. Aaron Rodgers is the last one left, and he doesn't have another 2 years left in him.
It's so crazy because I still think of Rodgers as a young guy.
As being 25, yeah.
Yeah. As like somebody who could date Shailene Woodley.
Well.
So this is, have you heard about this? I was listening to, I think it was a podcast talking about Aaron Rodgers and Shailene Woodley and how they are like a media couple. Like it's a front.
Yeah, allegedly.
For both of their sexuality.
Allegedly.
I buy that one.
I mean, she's so off the rails at all times. It's like every time that woman says anything, it's just unhinged. So I don't know what to buy with her anymore.
You know, she was in Snowden with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
What is your obsession with this Snowden movie? You haven't even seen it.
Yes, I have. I've seen it twice.
Have you?
Yeah.
You've seen it twice.
Yeah.
Why?
I liked it. I don't know. I watched it again.
Why did you watch it the first time?
I think we saw it in theaters.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, that does not seem like you.
Wait, why not? What's that supposed to mean?
It doesn't strike me as a thing that you'd go see in theaters twice.
Well, I didn't see it in theaters twice. I saw it in theaters once, then I watched it again a couple weeks ago.
It just doesn't seem like a you thing.
Wait, hold on. Why not?
Because you don't seem like you're particularly interested in the Edward Snowden story.
Well, I've seen the movie, so obviously I'm interested.
Obviously you love Harry Potter. You've seen all 8 movies.
I didn't follow it that close. I remember when the Edward Snowden thing came out. We were in, I think, high school, which is like weird. That's like a historical event now. That seems like it happened yesterday. But the high schooler, like kids who are now in high school were like 7 when that happened.
Yeah.
I remember when it came out, it was the first time that the TV narrative didn't quite match with what I thought was good and bad. Like, it was the first time I feel like I experienced propaganda in a way that I was like, I'm being lied to right now. Like, historically, typically when stuff was like rah rah USA, I just bought in. Like, I thought that was good. But I remember the Snowden thing happening, and they were like, yeah, this dude Edward Snowden leaked a bunch of secrets about our government and how they're spying on us. And it's like awful what they're doing. And he's a bad guy for doing that. And I remember like thinking like, I don't think he is. This feels too complex because it sounds like what he did was help a lot of people.
The movie came out almost 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Which is wild. Seeing as I've never really heard of it.
It was pretty good. I think you'd like it.
I might. Not really any interest in watching it.
I mean, it wasn't like amazing, but it was like, I don't know, it kind of reminded me of Hidden Figures, but not as good.
Yeah, I believe it. I was not a huge fan of a lot of the 2015 to 2020 sort of era biopics.
Yeah.
Just like in general, it wasn't really my favorite thing we've ever collectively done as a media consumption presence.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, a lot of them just not really super interested in watching.
You might like them if you watch Snowden.
It doesn't look like a movie I would like very much. Just looking at some stills here.
Kind of reminds me of Paycheck, starring Ben Affleck. Affleck?
I have not seen Paycheck either.
That was from 2003, so a little further back than the Snowden thing. It's got Paul
Little further
Giamatti,
back.
Aaron Eckhart, Uma Thurman.
This is Paycheck?
Yep.
Yeah, I know what Paycheck is.
Oh, I don't know. You said you've never seen it.
I haven't seen it, but I listened to my brother and me.
Have they seen Paycheck?
Yeah, they've seen Paycheck.
Paycheck.
Now, I saw a lot of those movies. I've seen Matchstick Men more than once.
I've also seen Matchstick Men more than once. Paycheck was one that like Ben went and bought like some DVDs that he heard were pretty good at like the $5 bin at Walmart and brought them home, and one of them was Paycheck, and we watched it like 10 times.
Yeah.
Like it just like it entered our rotation, but it wasn't in the car. It was like we'd watch it on the TV.
Yeah. No, I feel that. I definitely had those movies where I like wore the DVD out for no reason.
Yeah. We just keep watching it.
Just keep watching them, man. Yeah, I've seen a lot of those movies. That era of film is a whole different thing than what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, you're talking about biopics.
Yeah, not early 2000s action movies.
You ever heard of somebody call it a biopic?
Yeah, I think that's the correct pronunciation, actually.
It can't possibly be.
I'm pretty sure it is, but like it's not something that I'm willing to engage with.
Can I ask you a question
Sure.
from the heart?
Yeah.
Have we done the Da Vinci Code on this show?
No.
I don't understand that.
I don't know. I've suggested it a couple times.
Have
I
you
think it was
read-
before you like read it.
The book sucks.
It does not suck.
I mean, it doesn't, but it does.
You're simply incorrect about that.
Have you heard the John Oliver complaint about the Da Vinci Code?
I have not.
Oh my God, he has like an 11-minute segment he did as like a between seasons thing where he like
Yeah.
gathered a studio audience and just complained about the Da Vinci Code.
Nice.
It was so good. And he did it this year. It was so good. He was talking about how like
Okay, we have not done the Da Vinci Code. Confirmed from Podbean.
the Da Vinci Code centers around this puzzle where it's like a question about Isaac Newton and an orb, and the answer is so obviously Apple, and like Harvard
Yeah.
cryptologist Robert Langdon couldn't figure this out for like 200 pages.
Yeah. We can cover the Da Vinci Code whenever you want, man. I love that movie.
I do too. I also like Angels and Demons because you get Ewan McGregor being the Camerlengo, which they don't say in the movie, I don't think.
Yeah, no, I don't think they do.
But in the book, oh man, do
In
they
the book, he's
exhaust
also named Carlo Ventresca and is Italian.
Il Camerlengo.
Il Camerlengo.
And they say that a lot.
Yeah, but in the...
We must talk to the Camerlengo.
Yeah, in the movie, he's like Monsignor Patrick.
Yeah, he's Patrick. They're really digging into
He's
that
Irish.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know he like lives in Richmond?
Does he? Oh,
yeah,
Ewan?
part of the time. Yeah, him and Mary Elizabeth Winstead live in Richmond together.
Ewan McGregor is dating Ramona Flowers.
Yeah, yeah. And they just
She's-
like chill in Richmond.
Did you know she's going to be in the Kenobi show?
I did not.
She is, as Ramona Flowers.
I don't think that's true.
No, they would never give us that.
But yeah, just like everybody I know that like works in the service industry in Richmond has like waited on them in the last like 6 months.
I would die.
Yeah, same. But apparently he's just mad cool.
Like, you're Star Wars. You're in the Star Wars.
That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi. He literally has a bit about that.
I know. I've seen. If it's. Oh my God, who's the freaking talk show host I like?
Graham Norton.
If it's Graham Norton, I've seen it.
Yeah. I would watch that on TV if we got that.
Oh my God,
on
would I
TV.
watch it? Yes. If it came on at like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I guess.
Except
hold
it would
on.
be like 5 p.m., I think.
Yeah, it would be like 7 p.m. Right?
Yeah.
That would be way better and more convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would watch the crap out of that.
Absolutely.
What bothers me so much about Graham is that he is the best.
Oh, yeah. The clear best television talk show host ever.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Do you ever end up, we were talking about this, I think in the bonus content, which I don't know if you know this, listener, but you can go to patreon.com/bacon and eggs and listen to unedited episodes of this show, which usually gets you an extra like 20 minutes of content. It's only $10 a month. And like, it's the first right now. It's the third when you're hearing this. Maybe roughly. That's the earliest you can hear this. You get the whole month of February before we even charge you. We'll charge you on March 1st. So like, you can check it out. Anyway, we were talking about it the other day. I lost my freaking train of thought. Oh my God. Hold on, jog my memory, Ethan. What was I gonna say?
You're talking about Graham Norton. You said we were talking about something in the bonus content.
Shoot, dang, what were we talking about in bonus content the other day?
I don't know.
Graham Norton's the best of the best.
Yeah.
7 p.m. would love. Dude, it's gone. It's completely gone.
Yeah, no idea, man. Don't have a clue.
I got so distracted by my
Couldn't tell you.
greed, by my sinful greed.
Your sinful pride will be the death of us all.
Just thinking about Patreon.
Beware, it goeth before the fall.
You remember Streetlight Manifesto, Catch-22?
I sure do.
How often do you throw on some ska records?
I throw on any of their 3 records once a month. I have somewhere in between on vinyl. Spin that one every now and then.
I would spin that daily.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I listened to them the other day, like literally like a few days ago, because the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones broke up.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, I saw them a couple times. They were dope.
Yeah, they got that one song, the
impression that I get.
yeah, that's the impression that I get. Yeah.
Yeah. I never had to knock on wood, but I know someone who has. How often do I listen to ska? Not other than the odd time where I listen to Streetlight, not particularly very much. They'll come up on my daily mixes sometimes. It'll be like, does the Lion City Still Roar by Less Than Jake? Like, All My Friends Are Metalheads by Less Than Jake.
Oh, Less Than Jake hits my shuffle. Like if I shuffle all
constantly.
tunes, it's almost infuriating.
I never listened to Real Big Fish ever.
On purpose.
On purpose, yeah. But I'd go see them right now.
So
where do we put the Dropkick Murphys in there?
Not ska.
Not ska. Okay, like they're not ska, but they have like alternative instruments.
Yeah, but like Cake is ska. Dropkick Murphys is not ska.
I listen to Cake on purpose more than most bands.
I listen to Cake on purpose, I would say more than 60% of bands I listen to.
Yeah. Because, like, the amount of times that I get Short Skirt, Long Jacket stuck in my head, or The Distance stuck in my head, specifically those 2 songs.
You seem like a Cake guy.
I mean, I like those 2 songs.
Oh, you're not as much of a Cake guy as I thought then.
No, I know 3 songs, I think. I know one of them because of one of those, like, Halo music videos.
Which one?
I don't remember. Whichever one that had You're Never There by Cake in it.
You're never there.
Yeah. But like I like Short Skirt Long Jacket. That's a good song. I like The Distance. That's a good song. That's not to say that I don't like these bands. Like I love these bands. I love bands like that, man. Like alt punk bands that have like funky instruments, any kind of funky instruments in them. It's like I'm a big like Flogging Molly guy. I love the accordion, the banjo.
I love it. Yeah. Anytime you bring in something that's not in a regular like rock quartet.
Right. Yeah. It's great, man. I feel the same way about ska, right? Like everything's better with horns.
Everything.
All music should have horns.
All music should have horns. But horn players, I know a lot of horn players. They're not going after.
They're not going after that
music.
kind of thing.
You know, they're like, how nice would it be? I've been jamming out to some.
But like when I saw Bruce Springsteen, the boss, in concert, that man had a motherfucking sousaphone on stage with him.
Mm-hmm.
He went beyond horns to like, I mean, that is a horn, but like
conical.
Yeah, man, like that. It was dope. It was dope.
You know, a lot of people don't remember this. Chuck Mangione charted an instrumental hit with nothing but a flugelhorn.
Now, the flugelhorn, don't get me wrong, the flugelhorn, god tier instrument.
Not ska.
Not ska. Although you could play some ska with a flugelhorn.
That would be so soft.
I mean, it would. That's true.
Like that's, I'm not like, what is the thing they talk about now? There's like alpha males, beta males. What are the dudes who like specifically try not to be alpha? What do they call themselves? Sigma males?
Yeah, something like that.
Flugelhorn in ska is a Sigma move.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like it would totally work for like a Cake song or like Flowbots or something, but like I'm trying to think of like Streetlight Manifesto with like
I mean, Streetlight Manifesto has like a euphonium player, like all kinds of things.
Yeah.
They got horns.
They probably even bring a flugelhorn with them when they tour.
I believe that there are flugelhorn sections.
You know what? I was a trumpet player. I went to college for trumpet, and I really wish that was a hobby that I could cheaply and quietly get back into.
Same.
You know,
same.
I love playing brass. I love working the valves. I like cleaning the instruments.
Yeah, but it's so loud.
It's so loud and it's so expensive.
I have been learning to play the mandolin recently. Mm-hmm. That is a loud instrument.
Is it really?
Yeah, it just sings, man. It's like because it's tuned in violin tuning in fifths, right? And you like what that sounds like. You smack the mandolin or like bump into it, and it makes the like orchestra tuning up noise.
Right.
Just that like noise.
Yeah.
It's so resonant that you play it. It's double strings, so it's like every you got twice the strings playing the note.
Right.
There's no real way to play it quiet though. Like you play it, it's going. So a clacky, chunky instrument.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah, and Pickles hates it.
Oh, dude, dogs. That's
that
the
dude
worst
does
thing about
not
brass.
love me playing a stringed instrument.
I remember growing up in high school and my parents being like, why don't you ever practice? And I'd be like, because every time I practice boring stuff. And then you guys are like, why don't you ever play a song? And like, also the dogs hate it.
Yeah.
One, in order for me to play a song, you're going to have to hear me play that song very badly a lot.
A lot. Two, I can only play one note at a time.
Right.
This is the inherent problem of playing a melodic instrument, or an instrument that plays the melody, is that it only plays one note at a time.
Yeah. Although I had the same problem with guitar. My parents would be like, why don't you, just go upstairs and jam out? And I'd be like, that's what I'm trying to get. Like, that's what I'm working towards, Dad. I've got to play these boring scales and boring chord progressions over and over again so that my hand knows how to sit there and jam out.
See, this is the I've decided, I mean, I love the guitar, right? But like the tuning that it sits in naturally, the
open fourths,
4/4 and a third and a fourth, sucks.
It's stupid.
It's stupid, right? Because you do the scales on the mandolin, and it just sounds like damn Appalachian fiddle music.
Really?
Yeah, it's like you play like 024, 024, and that's like literally just because it's just violin stuff, right? It's all it just sounds like something.
It's this.
Yeah.
I could play violin. We did string pedagogy when I was a freshman.
Yeah.
And I think if our high school had an orchestra, I would be performing cello right now. That's what I think was the truth.
Yeah, there was a time in my life where I very much wanted to learn a bowed string instrument, but
I picked up cello. I picked up all the bowed string instruments very quickly. I picked up cello unbelievably quickly.
Yeah.
Like it came so naturally to me. It was almost like people don't study this for their whole life. It's too easy.
It's not.
I know it's not. That was kind of a cool experience, but
and also like the cello is the new violin, man.
How so?
Because like the cello has been in vogue for a long time now.
Yeah, people love
like a cello soloist like Yo-Yo Ma.
Oh, that's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
You think Yo-Yo Ma has more money than who's that lady that dances and plays violin?
Lindsey Sterling?
Yeah, Lindsey Sterling.
Does Yo-Yo Ma have more money than Lindsey Sterling? Almost certainly, because like he lives and like performs in Asia, and they go nuts for that sort of thing. And Lindsey Sterling, while a great fiddle player, is mostly a gimmick.
Let's see. I think Lindsey Sterling is worth more.
Okay. What's the Lindsey Sterling net
According
worth?
to this wealthypersons.com, Lindsey Sterling is worth $15 million, which I can almost hear you and I having a conversation with Lindsey Sterling guesting on this podcast, and me reading that and Lindsey Sterling being like, that's absolutely not true.
Yeah, or just laughing out loud.
Right. But we'll go by that number.
I'm seeing the same thing.
Only thing I could find about Yo-Yo Ma is that Yo-Yo Ma plays a $2.5 million cello.
I'm betting that Lindsey Sterling does not play a $2.5 million violin.
No, hold on. According to Celebrity Net Worth, Yo-Yo Ma's worth $30 million. Look at that.
Also, his cello is valued at $3.5 million.
Like 325 or like...
No, 3 to 5.
Is that because it's Yo-Yo Ma's cello, or is that because it costs that much? It's like a proper original Stradivarius cello. I don't think that's a thing.
Well, it's the cello equivalent of a Stradivarius.
Yeah. I didn't know when I took...
Sleeper, dark horse here is violinist Josh Bell.
Yeah?
Yeah. Net worth approximately $15 million. And he's like a classical violinist.
Do we know him?
Do we know him personally?
No, what would I know Josh Bell from?
Oh, I don't know.
He's worth $15 million because he plays for the Washington Nationals.
No, that's the baseball player.
Yeah.
No, it's not the same guy.
Oh, okay. He also isn't worth $15 million. His salary is $507,500.
Yeah. Yeah, all I remember is the story. There was a story about Josh Bell playing, busking in the New York City subway and then, playing Carnegie Hall that night.
I think, dude, if you're a cello guy, it's not fair to live in New York and not busk.
He's a violin guy.
That's what I meant. But if you're a string guy, I think you've got a connection to a local string store where you can buy used violins for $200, right?
Yeah.
And the only way you practice is you busk on violin, because what are you going to do? Practice in your apartment? That's rude.
It's New York, yes.
I know, but man, can you imagine? That's my neighbor, the cellist.
Yeah. I cannot imagine.
I
have not and probably never will live in Manhattan.
Oh man, you totally could. You'd be so good at that.
Yeah, I probably could, but I don't.
Why not?
Because I live here.
Move to Manhattan. Do it right now.
That sounds expensive.
Okay, so?
I don't have that much money.
Sell your stuff.
People be like, my apartment in Brooklyn cost me $5,000 a month. And I'm like, I don't want to live in Brooklyn. B, I don't have $5,000 a month.
Make it,
Doing what? I don't play the cello.
Man, think about this. Learn to play the cello on the New York City subway.
Learn to play the cello, move to Manhattan, step 4, profit.
Yeah.
It's rap time.
Is it really? Good Lord.
Yeah.
Do you have a listener score for me?
Did we?
Just
did
to recap, I gave this movie a 79, Ethan an 80.
Anybody watch the movie?
Yeah, we had 3 or 4 scores. Rotten Tomatoes also gave it an 80. Metacritic 68.
Okay.
Let
me go to Fache Book.
Audience gave it an 83. And next week on Bacon and Eggs, I think we're watching Jennifer's Body and
Is that next week?
So there was a Wes Anderson movie, The Fantastic Mr. Fox, that was supposed to be this week.
I do still want to cover that.
So let's do that next week. Next week on Bacon and Eggs, we're watching The Fantastic Mr. Fox, which is available on a popular streaming service. I forget which
Disney
one.
Plus.
Disney Plus.
It's been so long since you posted this that I'm having trouble finding it. Give me 1 second. This is the life. Bo. Okay. We got scores. We got, this is going to be a really good listener score. Just based on confirmation bias, I guess. Bacon and Eggs listener score is an 86.
86. This is a pretty tight race, probably as tight as it's ever been between all the scores. That gives it a Bacon and Egg score for A River Runs Through It of 80.8. 80.8 makes it actually pretty low. 7th out of 10, or out of 11, loses to The Matrix and beats out Dune.
I can get behind that. I'd rather watch this than Dune.
Dune was heavy, man.
Yeah, this does not have Timothée Chalamet in it, though.
Kinda did.
No, it didn't.
I mean, there was that young Brad Pitt character.
He looked nothing like Timothée Chalamet.
I don't think Timothée Chalamet was alive when this was made.
I was about to say, I was in the process of Googling Timothée Chalamet birthday. Timothée Chalamet was born 3 years and 2 months later.
So yeah, he wasn't there for this one.
He wasn't there for this one. The old Chalamet, Timothée Chalamet Ding Dong, did not have a chance to be in this movie.
No Pete Davidson either. That was kind of surprising.
No Pete Davidson, although Pete Davidson was probably alive.
Yes.
I don't know how old Pete Davidson is. There's
No, he was
literally
not
no
alive.
number that would surprise me.
He's 28.
Wow, yeah. Younger than me. Barely, but younger than me. Good for old Pete. So Pete Davidson also didn't get his chance to be in A River Runs Through It. What if they remade it with Pete Davidson and Timothée Chalamet playing Paul and Norman?
Hey man, what are you doing? Being a newspaper
Hey, why
guy?
do you want to move back east? Like, you don't want to stay in Montana?
You don't want to, bro.
Yeah, I think dude, it'd be really cool if we just went back to Chicago, bro. Go back to Chicago.
Yeet.
Fucking love fingerling potatoes. Bro, I think we should stay in Montana.
I'll never leave Montana. That's all I got. Eddie McClurg is in this movie.
Who?
Eddie McClurg. She is the receptionist for the principal in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Nice.
And Ferris Bueller's Online too.
Now that's a film. That's a movie right there.
Also in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I think.
Hey, we were going to cover that movie at one point.
We were.
And then we did something else.
Yeah. Do you know there's a John Hughes? I didn't know that.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
Yeah.
I think I knew that because of Ready Player 2. She was in Cars 2, Wreck-It Ralph, and Frozen, and Zootopia.
Eddie McClurg.
It's probably Edie.
You know who doesn't sound like they like her is Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Why is that?
He didn't cast her in any of his movies.
Oh, that's fair. But A, she's 76 years old. 2, she was uncredited in Zootopia. And Roman numeral 3, she has not done anything since 2016.
Just imagine this.
And old Lin-Manuel Miranda was not making movies in 2016.
No, he was Alexander Hamilton
On the Broadway.
on the way broad.
On the way that is broad.
Whew. All right, I got nothing else to say, Ethan.
Nor do I. Oh man, she was realtor in Transformers Robots in Disguise in 2016. She's on one episode of Mike and Molly. Anyway, I'm Ethan Edgehill. That's Tyler Carlin. We are Bacon and Eggs. Bacon and Eggs is a production of WB&E Podcast Network. For more great podcasts like this one, the one you're listening to, you can go to WBNE.org or search for any of our shows wherever podcasts are sold or given away for free. And this is a promo right now for a show by young people, Perspective Z, where they talk about the problems facing the young people in America and all over the world. And they know more about being young than I do because I'm old. Older than Pete Davidson. So if you want to listen to a podcast by two people that are younger than Pete Davidson, check out Perspective Z, available wherever you get your podcasts and now on Spotify.
What's that? A podcast? Crazy, funky, junky podcast?
Do you ever wonder what goes through the minds of the people that watch the last good Disney Channel shows?
Or if you can wear skinny jeans and a side part without looking old?
Well, then you should check out our podcast, Perspective Z, hosted by us, Katrina
and Rachel. We discuss TikTok trends, politics, new co-hosts.
Hey!
and everything in between to give you our perspective as two Gen Z ladies trying to figure out our place in the world.
Listen along to hear our thoughts and opinions as Katrina enters the world as a high school grad and Rachel figures out her next steps.
So make sure to check out new episodes of Perspective Z every Monday on the WBNE network at wbne.org or wherever you get your podcasts.
Now on Spotify. Toodles!
Our graphics for the show, as always, are by Vaishon Brandon, graphite.nope. Vaishon Designs on Instagram. And our music is by Andrew Scott Bell, the one, the only famous film composer, a student Oscar winner, Andrew Scott Bell. AndrewScottBellMusic.com for all of your music-related needs. On behalf of Tyler Carlin, I'm Ethan Edgehill. And until next time, arrivederci.
A river runs through it.